While I listen, sometimes I fall asleep. I ain't gonna flex. I fall asleep because sometimes it be boring, and sometimes I hear something. Well, this time I heard something, and it surprised me because it said something about a man that was traveling with his concubine or something like that, and basically at the end of the story, she was raped and killed. And at the end of the story, it was like the end. Like it was no like fluffy happy ending. And I was like, okay, let me listen to that again. So I listened to it again, 19 through 21, the chapters. And y'all should look this up because it surprised me. And I was like, there's no happy ending. I don't get it. I said, okay, well, let me look up some stuff on YouTube. So I'm looking on YouTube, listening to some folks. I wish I knew the names. I'll give them a shout out right now. Listen to some folks, and they broke it down a little bit. But then, since I'm a history major, I don't really necessarily believe in what people say. I need to dig into that thing a little bit deeper, a little bit more. Okay. So I brought out the actual Bible and I read it bit by bit. If I didn't get one word, if it was like thee thou, like what did thee thou mean? Hold on, let me look that up. I dictionary that thing, Webster. All right. So I broke everything down, right? And this is what I got from it. This man was traveling. I'm not going to use names because I don't remember the names. But he was traveling. He had a concubine. His concubine left. All right? His woman left. And it said she was being a whore for 4 months where her father lived. And if I'm misinterpreting anything, y'all please let me know because I'm pretty sure you guys like to critique. So go ahead, do that. Left for 4 months. And whored. He followed her like a boss. Because I wouldn't have did that, but he followed her like a boss. And then got her back. So every time this man kept trying to leave, I'm starting to walk now. Can't sit down for that long. So every time this man tried to leave, the father of the girl was like, please stay. Almost like he knew like something was gonna go bad or something. Like, I don't know. It was creepy, but he was like, please stay. And he stayed for like 3 days or 2. And then finally, one day, he's like, please stay again. I'm going to feed you. I'm going to do this. He's like, nah, we leaving. So he bounced. He bounced with his concubine, went to some lands that he was not familiar with or did not feel comfortable with staying at. So instead of staying in those lands, he said, we'll go to the other places a little bit more comfortable. I know this spot. All right, cool. Went there. There was nobody there to take him in. They was outside on the ground. Finally, some old man seen him, and they had some familiarity because they were like, I guess, coming from the same place or the same origin, one of those things. And he allowed the guy to come in. He said, hey, man, I got food, drink, whatever. I'm gonna compensate you. You good. He's like, all right, thanks. It's going to be me, my servant, and my concubine, the one that whored for 4 months. So they went inside. And somebody caught them. They were called the Benjamites. I guess the tribe of Benjamin or whatever. And this was during their evil times, I guess, because they surrounded this man's house, knocked on the door, and was like, guess what? We want to know that man. Literally, they said, we want to know that man. And if you read the Bible, usually when they say that someone wants to know someone, that means they want to have sex with them. They want to have sex with the dude. I'm like, okay. They want to penetrate this man. All right. Wow. So that's what they're saying. Let this man out so we could do our thing to him. And so the old man came out and was like, nah, man, he's cool. Please don't do this. Instead, take I believe he said his daughter, I believe. The old man said, take my daughter or servant or something. And he said, you know what? As a matter of fact, you could take his girlfriend, his concubine, instead of him. And right there, that tripped me out because I'm like, you're going to sacrifice this woman to just get ran through by these dudes? And then this thing is that it actually happened. So they ended up snatching a concubine. The guy's daughter was saved. But this is the thing. They did their thing with the girl. They said all night until daybreak. And then she was left in front of the house. She came crawling to the house and she died there after seeing her husband. And the husband was he made it seem like it was nothing. He opened the door. He was like, oh, get up and walk. It's time for us to go. What? Get up and walk. It's time for us to go. And then she died right there. He picked her up and then carried her to back to his spot and cut her up in 12 pieces, bone and all. That's what I said, bone and all, and sent her out to all the different tribes of Israel, 12 tribes. So back to that, without going further, this man allowed his wife to get raped, his concubine, by all those men. They say that in the Bible, it said they had their way with her. They did whatever they did. They knew her. I mean, I already told you what know means. They knew her. Whew. How could you? There's all type of controversy through this. First of all, I don't think the old man should ever open the door. He should just left it closed. Second of all, how is the old man going to just give up his daughter and give up this other man's wife, and then they sit in the house safe? They knew what was going on out there, and this man just went to sleep, both of them, and they woke up like it was nothing. That's how they treated women back then, like she was nothing. Or did he really not care because she left and whored for 4 months? I don't know, what you think? Maybe he was like, oh man, she could get through it. Yeah, she whored for 4 months. She loose enough. I don't know. She could get through it. Well, obviously she couldn't. So anyways, this man said a statement by cutting her up and sending her to all the 12 tribes. And then he asked people in Israel, which, where he's from, and was like, hey, what are we going to do about this? They're like, okay, well, we're going to go and try to basically avenge her. We're going to send some people, some troops or whatever. Won't. Now, the Israelites, I believe the name were, they were part of Israel, were like trying to pray to God and stuff and say, hey, God, what should we do? They're praying to God, what should we do? And God was like, all right, go ahead and attack them. And they attack them, but they were getting beat when they were attacking them. Okay, so then they asked again, hey, God, should we, attack the Benjamites, get the tribe of Benjamin again? And then he's like, yeah, go ahead. They did it again, and they got beat. So these people are getting beat by the man that raped this guy's woman. So they got beat like 2 or 3 times. And then the next time, guess what they said? And guess what they did? They prayed and said, should we go fight these people again? But before then, we're going to fast. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I never noticed this scripture before. They said, we're going to fast. And if you know what fasting is, like I told you earlier, it's basically withdrawing from fleshly, carnal desires to seek God. So that's what they did. And the next time they went and fought, they won. And it just immediately made me think about what Pastor Allen was saying the other day. You could pray all you want, but you can't get rid of certain demons and this and that without fasting and praying. Not just prayer, not just fasting, but fasting and praying. So there's some things in your life that you've been trying to get rid of for years, and you will not be able to get rid of them unless you fast and pray. And it just blew my mind. It tripped me out. I knew fasting was good. That's why, I've been doing that ever since a young man. But, not reaping all of the benefits, because sometimes when people fast, they, like you say, it's more of, you think it's like a diet or something like that. You're not seeking God. And so now I'm fasting. I'm seeking God more and more. It's strengthening me, and I'm just getting all type of answers. Like this morning, and that's why I was like, man, I really gotta get on the mic this morning and just be real. So they fast and prayed, and they end up defeating the Benjamites, however you pronounce it. Now, what's crazy about the end of this story is that at the end, they actually went back to help the Benjamites because they were part of them, of Israel. They end up helping them, getting wives for them and all that stuff. But back to the last time they won. Back to that real quick. When they fast, God gave them insight of what to do to win. Things didn't just pop off and happen. God gave them insight. How do we know that? Because in the scriptures, it talks about how instead of just fighting them face to face, they encamped around their enemy. They used strategy this time. They went to the left, they went to the right, they went to the back. It was strategy. But they would have never had that insight and that strategy if they did not fast and pray. That was the difference maker. First, they were just praying. But also, what I try to do is get on these casting sites because I'm trying to become an actor. Obviously, I just like how you have a nice broad audience of people, and then you pretty much could say what you want. Once you get your audience, you can say what you want, and that's why I really want to. I want to get to the point where I can say what I want because I think my message could help people. I really do. I think my message can help people, and it's not the typical message of, man, I'm a real goody two shoes, or I'm a real bad boy. It's really complex, to be absolutely honest. Like I said, I'm originally from the hood, California, East Oakland to Vallejo, North Side. I'm originally from the hood, so I've seen a lot of things growing up. But then I almost always had God in my life. It's just at a young age, I read this book called The Divine Revelation of Hell, and it was deep, man. It talked about hell and the different levels of hell, and it's almost like Dante's Inferno. The game, but also the original Dante. That's history stuff. That's where they got that from. So when I realized that there was a God and that there was a hell and it was real, I just wanted to do right, man. I wanted to do right, and I made a lot of mistakes. I was gun-ho. If you know me, I'm a 100% person, and I was gun-ho about doing right all day. And if you went to high school with me, you know that. I always ask people to come to church, tell them to come to Bible study. Hey, if you don't do this, you're going to go to hell. Hey, if you do this, you will go to heaven. Hey, hell is the worst thing that... And by doing that, I lost a couple of friends, some good friends, man. It's funny that I talk about Dante Inferno because I lost one of my good friends, Dante Green, over something like that. Because I was like super gun-ho about my religion stuff. I was in his house just doing a preaching, and him. It disrespectful. I was kind of disrespectful, man. I had good intentions, but I just didn't know how to finesse. I didn't know how to do that thing. I wasn't like Paul.